Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox property or platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a legend reborn for 2017, drawing inspiration from the original 1975 Laureato. This is the Girard-Perregaux Laureato Automatic 42. As you can see, stainless steel. It's a 42mm diameter with a tonneau style case, and you can see thin for its class. It's only 11.1 millimeters thick. From lug to lug, it's 49.1 millimeters, but if you count the outermost profile of the end links, they're rigid. You can't press them in or compress them anymore. The total distance across the wrist is 52.8 millimeters. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it fits well. I'd say you could wear it on a wrist as small as 14.5 centimeters circumference. The edge of the case, as you can see, is cambered and wrapped around the wrist, so that helps with security as well as aesthetics. The case is low and flat, so it'll wear easily underneath a dress cuff. The bracelet is comfortable, silky, smooth, and it has big enough gaps on the underside to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. You can see that the bracelet is nicely made. This was from the 1970s school of integrated bracelet design, and of course this watch actually came out a year before the Ingenieur SL and the Nautilus. So the profile blending into the outer primary links of the bracelet, and there's a lovely little transitional bevel along the case flank that continues down the flanks of the links. The primaries are satin finished. There's a pronounced taper, not just of the primaries, but also of the intermediate links. You can see how they actually grow narrower as we move down the bracelet. And then the bracelet is assembled using removable links fixed by screws. So no pins and sleeves here. They're doing it the right way at Girard-Perregaux. It's not like the pin sleeve system you find at Patek these days. The clasp is a double fold. It is a sequential fold, so one side closes before the other, and then it's a twin trigger release, so the twin triggers keep it shut until you want it to open. The case band is simple but strong. There's probably a little bit less complexity about the case than on a Nautilus, but it's comparable to the Royal Oak. Now you can see there's horizontal satin finishing on the top. There's longitudinal satin finishing on the flanks. There's that transitional bevel. We've got a crown that's a screw down. Again, this is a 100-meter water-resistant sports watch. And then one of the most interesting bezels in this class. It's not unusual to have a multifaceted polygonal bezel on a watch like this. You can see this one's unusual because it's a physical fixture maintaining the water resistance of the case. It actually screws in. It is the front of the case, whereas, for example, on the Royal Oak, the component is held down by bolts, and then there's a separate seal underneath. This threads into the case the way a case back threads into a Rolex. So it's a threaded component that actually threads into the case and works as a plug to keep everything hermetically sealed on the front. You can also see that it's got a lovely combination of a round polished plinth beneath it, and then it's got that contrasting polygonal form on top with both satin finish and polish. The dial is a hobnail. It's actually a pyramide, and you can see it is galvanized blue. We have rhodium plated applique indices and Girard-Perregaux logo. We actually have a white on blue date disc, so the date is the same color as the dial. I'm happy to see that. Lovely pointed baton-style hands and a counterweighted lancet-style seconds hand. The watch does include both hacking seconds and a quick-set date, which I will do my best to demonstrate here. What I like about this watch is the unique typeface used for the date. You can see that the serifs here are gorgeous, and that it even features open sixes and open nines, so there are a lot of details to appreciate with this watch. Flipping it over, we see a movement not commonly used by Girard-Perregaux. You're used to the 3000 family. It is very uncommon to find the GP 1800, one of the newest movements in the GP catalog, considerably more modern and broader than the old 3000s. It properly fills the case back. It's an automatic winder with a longer power reserve. The 3000s are 46, this is 54. 28,800 vibrations per hour. It's got a micrometric eccentric screw regulator, but most of the regulation is going to be done with Edicron, which you can see, and that makes the watch very easy to regulate precisely. So beating away at 4 Hertz, it's got its stop seconds and its quick set. It pivots on 28 joules, and of course you've got that above average 54-hour power reserve. The bevels on this movement are quite nice. On the edge of the bridges, they are started mechanically but finished by hand. You can see there's engine turning on the base plate, and then they're Côte de Genève in 2 forms, circular on the rotor, and then linear waves across the bridges. We can also see that the screw heads have been black polished, and the locating pegs for the plates, they have also been polished on their heads. So this is a good looking watch inside and out. If you love this watch, Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.